A young girl loses her own dad, but she is determined to help a giant Yeti in finding his parents. In China, a mysterious beast finally breaks out of the cage. He runs into the hallway where the zoologist Dr. Zara spots him. She immediately alerts the security, and all the exit doors are closed in seconds. The beast is totally surrounded, but then he does something magical that distracts all the guards. When their consciousness returns, the beast has already escaped in the city. In the same city, a young girl named Yi lives with her mother Mei and her grandma Nai Nai. It's summer break, but Yi wakes up early in the morning and gets ready to head out to do her stuff. She doesn't tell much about it to Mei and Nai Nai, but they don't inquire much either. They don't want to stress Yi, as she's already become quiet and depressed since her father's death. Yi doesn't have many friends either and spends her summer break doing several part-time jobs. When she gets home, her neighbor's kid Peng requests her to play with him like old times, but she doesn't seem to have time. Yi tells Peng to play with his cousin Jin, but Jin is way too busy with stuff like dating, social media streaming, and taking care of his looks. As Yi enters her apartment, Nai Nai offers her some food, but she says she has eaten already. Mei stops her and requests her to give some time to the family and also play some violin for them. Yi excuses herself, saying that she has sold the violin. However, she still has it, but misses playing it with her dad. Yi sneaks out of her bedroom window and climbs up to the roof. She has built a small tent there and pasted her father's pics in it. She saves all the salary from the part-time jobs to have enough money to travel around China. It's a dream her father saw, but fate didn't let him do it. After getting a little emotional, Yi takes out her father's violin and plays it beautifully. Her moment is interrupted when a helicopter flies over her head all of a sudden. Yi drops her violin in shock, and when she tries to pick it up, she notices a strange creature nearby. It's the beast that escaped from the authorities, and now they are looking for it in helicopters. Seeing the beast frightened so much, Yi hides it from the helicopters and she gets under a crate too. Afterward, Yi keeps holding the violin stick at the creature to defend herself. The whole night passes away like this, but the creature doesn't attack her at all. The next morning, Yi gets closer to the beast and sees the wound on his arm. She grabs some money and rushes to the pharmacy. On her way back, she sees Zara still looking for the beast in this neighborhood. Yi grabs some steam buns for the beast and climbs back on the roof. She feeds him and also treats his wound. Yi also makes his shelter more secure by breaking her own tent. The beast gets comfortable and points towards the Mount Everest billboard nearby. Yi guesses that it must be where this beast belongs to, so she named him Everest. He still seems uncomfortable, so Yi comforts him by playing her violin. Everest really likes it and starts to glow. The dead plant nearby suddenly blooms by Everest's powers. He's not just a rare animal, but a magical Yeti. After putting him to sleep, Yi goes back to her room. The next morning, Everest gets panicked and moves around the roof. He notices the air conditioner and starts to pull it. Yi tries to calm him down, but before she does that, Nai Nai sends Jin to the roof to find the problem with the air conditioner. Jin gets frightened on seeing the Yeti and calls the police immediately. Yi tries to explain everything, but before she could, Dr. Zara comes in a helicopter to catch the Yeti. Everest has seen Yi's pictures and her plans and guesses that she wants to travel too, so he grabs Yi and runs away from the helicopter. Jin and Peng also follow them, assuming that Yi is in danger. Everest jumps around the city and finally reaches a fancy building. The authorities surround him from all sides, but then a fortunate event saves them. The building displays a light show at the same hour every night. It distracts the helicopters and Everest runs away to the seaport. Yi tells him to get on a cargo ship and travel to mountains, but she realizes that Everest will not be able to do that by himself. So she jumps on the boat. Peng and Jin follow them too. Meanwhile, Dr. Zara informs her boss and the wealthy businessman Mr. Burnish about the disappearance of the beast. He gets really angry because this ruined all of his plan. He has spent years locating a Yeti, and now he has arranged a huge event to present the mysterious being. But the Yeti has escaped, and he has to get embarrassed in front of the whole media. Dr. Zara reminds him of the rare kind of whooping snakes they have, but Burnish believes they are not very special at all. He orders Zara and his goons to bring back Yeti even if they have to kill him. But being a zoologist, Zara requests to keep the Yeti alive at any cost. Burnish accepts the condition, and the search begins. Jin calls his mother and lies that he is going to visit his university in Tokyo, and Yi and Peng are accompanying him too. The ship they are traveling in is carrying huge boxes of soda cans. Peng and Everest drink one can and after another and fill up their tummy. After reaching the seaport, they all hide inside one of the wooden boxes. Everest has drunk too much soda and he needs a toilet. He tries to jump out and makes the box fall down the cliff. They all haven't eaten anything since last night and feel really hungry. Everest starts to glow again and his magical powers make blueberries grow on the nearby bushes. However, they keep growing to the size of huge footballs. They roll down the hill and hit everyone. After getting drowned under the giant blueberries, Yi and her friends finally reach a peaceful spot. The night has set in already, so they decide to continue their journey in the morning. Jin wants to return home, but Yi has planned to take Everest to his family. From his behavior, she has realized that Everest is just a kid who can't travel by himself. Jin is regretting coming along as his social life is getting affected. He also calls Yi a lonely person who is always too and never has time for her family and friends. This hurts Yi's feelings, and she stops talking to Jin. The next morning, when Peng and Jin wake up, they find Yi playing her violin. They admire her skills and tell her that her father must be proud of her. Jin is also ashamed of how he treated Yi last night, so he decides to repent his mistake by joining the journey to Mount Everest. Meanwhile, Dr. Zara and Mr. Burnish has reached the seaport. They spread around and find the clues that lead them to Yi and her friends. They were climbing around a mountain when a bunch of drones surrounded them. The goons have reached here. Everest starts glowing again and turns one of the small dandelions into a huge one. Peng and Yi hang on the dandelion with Everest, but Jin is accidentally left behind. Yi starts blaming herself for leaving Jin in danger and believes that he must hate her for this. But Peng reveals that Jin always considered Yi as his little sister and liked taking care of her. Hearing this, Yi feels better and continues her journey. The goons capture Jin and take him to Mr. Burnish. He tells Jin that in his youth he visited the mountains and encountered a Yeti. After returning from his journey, he shared his discovery with others, but no one believed him, and instead made fun of him. Since then, Burnish is determined to prove himself by finding a Yeti. Burnish also tells Jin that a Yeti is dangerous, so he should help them in rescuing his friends. Jin also wants to return home safely, so he reveals that his friends are heading towards the Himalayas. However, Yi is lost in the woods without Jin because he was the one who had the map on his phone. She starts blaming herself again and calls this mission impossible. Suddenly, they notice the koi fish swimming backward in the river. This reminds Yi that her mother called these fish a symbol of perseverance. One must keep trying and never give up. Yi feels a sudden motivation and decides to keep moving forward. Meanwhile, Jin gets up in the middle of the night and eavesdrops on Dr. Zara. She's just pretending to be an animal-loving zoologist. But in reality, she wants to kill Yeti and sell his parts to scientific research centers. She's afraid that Mr. Burnish is getting softer for animals and may let the Yeti go. So she tells one of her men to get Everest even if they have to harm the kids. Zara also throws away her rat, but it steals her keys. Jin tries to ride the motorbike with the keys, but fails. He's afraid of the dark, but to save his friends, he runs through the woods and travels through the village. He even sells his precious mobile phone to get a motorboat and follow the map to Everest. Yi and Peng have also reached the same village and disguised Everest as a yak to blend in. Zara and goons reach there too and spot Everest. Jin also arrives and gets Yi in his boat. Peng teases the yaks and they run after the goons while Peng escapes with Everest. The goons turn their van into a boat and follow the kids. Everest uses his powers to drive the boat at higher speed but forgets to take a turn and jump on the fields. Surprisingly, the field flows like water like a magical river and creates huge waves. The kids finally reach the shore, but Yi's violin broke in this messy journey. She feels heartbroken and runs in the woods, but Jin follows her too. Yi's father used to play the violin every night for her, and it was his last memory. Jin feels sorry and apologizes for whatever he said to her earlier, but Yi thinks he's right. Just because she missed her father, she tried to stay busy and distanced herself from her mother and grandma. When they return, Everest gives Yi her violin, which he repaired with magic. She thanks him with a big hug and puts the violin back in the case with the postcards his father collected. Peng notices that they have already visited all the places drawn on the postcards. Yi has fulfilled his father's dream already. The last place to visit is right in front of them, the Lashan Buddha. After getting there, Yi plays her violin and it magically grows flowers all over the Buddha's statue. Everest has put some of his magic in Yi's violin. Afterward, they visit several other such beautiful places before finally reaching the mountains. They just need to cross the final bridge. As they reach the middle of it, Mr. Burnish and his goons attack them. They take over both ends of the bridges. Everest climbs up the bridge and uses his magical powers to bring thunderstorms. This reminds Burnish of the time when he encountered the Yeti. He was also protecting his kids the same way Everest is protecting the kids. Burnish tells his men to back off, but Zara shoots him with tranquilizer. Afterward, she orders to shoot Everest with the tranquilizers too. The poor Yeti falls down and gets caged. Yi tries to protect him, but Zara mercilessly pushes her off the bridge. However, she grabs on a rope and climbs up. She plays her violin again, and its power wakes up Everest. He breaks out of the cage and uses magical ice to stop all the vehicles. Zara tries to attack again, but she gets swept away by falling ice. Burnish lends some warm clothes to the kids and promises to never reveal the secret about Yeti's existence. The mountain is still quite far, but Everest makes koi fish out of clouds that carry the kids to the peak. Everest gives Yi a picture of her family, telling her that her mother and grandma are still there for her. Yi understands the point and says goodbye to Everest. The little Yeti unites with his parents while the kids get back home with the help of Mr. Burnish. The first thing Yi does after returning home is hug her mother and grandma. They enjoy a delicious feast with her family, including Jin and Peng. The adventure doesn't end here, as Everest's magic is still with them in the form of Yi's violin. Sometimes we are too busy getting sad over the things we don't have, and forget to cherish the blessings present just in front of us.